Free games, we haven't covered those ones in a while, and sometimes it's nice not to have your wallet bludgeoned to death by a AAA $80 price tag in the brightly lit gaming main streets. So let's instead turn to the dimly lit dark alleyways and find ourselves a fun time for free. In bloody hell, you'll be taking on the role of an angelic murderous duck as it dons its holy halo upon its head, waddles its way into hell itself, and then promptly uses its symbol of divinity as a machine gun to carve a path through the underworld to take out Satan himself. Not sure what Lucifer did to piss off his father upstairs, but at least he didn't send a heavenly imbued goose, because that would have been horrible. Polygon is a tactical multiplayer first-person shooter with large-scale maps that up to 32 players can all come together on and have a lovely gathering. That is, if your idea of a lovely gathering is bullets and hellfire raining down all around you. Grab your friends, squad up, and blast the day away. What more do you need to know? It's an FPS game with a nice look. Become a timid little rodent on an adventure to deliver their first bit of mail in Postmouse. This is one lovely little third-person puzzle platformer created by students in Denmark. Overcome an unsafe world as you finally venture beyond the borders of the post office to deliver letters to those waiting to hear from their loved ones. Microworks is a robust collection of over 150 micro games designed to test both your speed and wit. Compete against other players to rack up points in very short games of reaction time, brain power, and accuracy, among many other things as the game gets progressively faster and then culminates in a boss round. If you want a game to test your friendship, among many other things, this one can take up to 16 players and has no real business being free and this fun. Anchorfoot is a game all about kicking down doors and kicking ass. Don your sneakers and then boot down doors to clear out the appropriately named shit city of its menacing, merciless gangs. Turn up the bass and leave a trail of splintered wood and broken bones behind you as you race to clear levels as fast as you can. Only the demo of this one is free on Steam at the moment, but it's a lot of fun, so I thought I'd mention it. Alien Swarm Reactive Drop is a tactical multiplayer top-down shooter with some solid squad tactics. Grab your friends, gear up, and blast your way through an off-world colony that's suffering from a bit of a slight human-hungry alien infestation. Whether you want to compete with friends or demolish aliens together in a full campaign, get on this one, it's a blast. Blameless is a short and sharp first-person adventure where the player takes on the role of an architect in an unfinished house who has quickly become an unwilling guest of the place thanks to some illegal shenanigans. This one is essentially an escape room styled game with a story, and it's a pretty good one at that. The Looker is an interesting puzzle game that in its own words sets out to respect you as an intelligent player. Embark on an adventure through a garden of wonders and think outside the box, because this game may not be what you're expecting at all. Perhaps it's just art. If taking out innocent people in a back alley whilst listening to terribly impersonated Italian mob accents on equally terrible microphones interests you, then say hello to Treason. The Don's been murdered and there are traitors amongst the gang. I think you know how this song and dance goes. Find the murderers before you all end up with the Don in the dumpster. If you're a cultured gamer, this one might remind you of a certain Gary's Mod game mode. If you're hunting for more free-to-play cross-platform games and don't mind the possibility of losing friends, then Kartrider Drift is a good start. Another take on the classic Mario Kart formula, but entirely free. Hit the track, obliterate your friends in various different modes, or race alongside them in 4-player co-op team races. Still rocking a bit of a potato PC? Well, kick it old school on one of the best co-opable horror games there is out there on Cry of Fear. Take to the cold Scandinavian night and walk the streets of a deserted town, and then swiftly realize it's actually home to plenty of nightmarish creatures that want to evict you from the mortal coil. Not only is this an amazing single player, but it also has a 4-player co-op campaign for you to unearth with friends. Red Hot Vengeance is a game that teaches you what happens when you double-cross a stickman hitman. When an employer goes back at his word, it's up to you to embody the spirit of pure bloodlusted vengeance to tear down a gang from its foundations up before going for the head. Hotline Miami-style bullet blasting with a wick vendetta, and it's also free. When the cast of Sonic gets together for a murder mystery party, Sonic himself becomes the victim in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Interrogate everyone aboard the Mirage Express and find out who done did it. But is this really just an innocent little game, or is there something more happening behind the scenes? Gladio Glory is a game all about controlling a drunken sandbag clad in iron and equipped with the latest medieval ending life implements. Ragdoll your way around Roman arenas, lopping off your enemy's extremities as you vie for glory. Or swiftly misclick and have your head lopped off instead. It even has multiplayer, which is pretty neat. Sticking to the old school trend, apparently Satan ran out of accommodation and decided to ship the shambling, walking rot bags back to Earth. No More Room in Hell may have come out in 2011, but if you're a fan of Zed survival games, then this is one of the classics I'd recommend diving into, and you can even do it with up to 8 players to take a bit of the edge off of the horror elements if you want. Who Lives in a Crashed Submarine Under the Sea, which has slightly disturbing callbacks to recent real-life events? you do in aphotic descent. You'll be escaping your ruined sub and with no other hope for survival, heading to a nearby underwater research facility that, much like the depths of the ocean, probably should have been left well alone. Shadowline is another free-to-play FPS that offers both roguelite, co-op, PvE, or the standard PvP game modes that you'd come to expect in a shooter. Pick up your arsenal and fight through the planet after a mysterious interstellar object shattered near the planet, causing Earth to become a twisted, dark visage of its former glory. Kick it old school in AWOL, which is a game that not only embodies the classics like Duke Nukem 3D, but is also built on the same engine as them. It brings the 90s retro games into the modern era, so if you're a fan of the older FPS titles, this one is certainly worth looking at. The Supper is a very short, slightly dark adventure game following the lovely Miss Appleton and the not-so-lovely voice in her head telling her to red wedding her customers. Miss Appleton is a lovely wellspring of human kindness. Surely that dark voice in her head would never turn her wicked. Bangin' music and bangin' frag grenades with wicked hats. You get all of the above in hats and hand grenades. A cover-based twin-stick shooter with up to 6 players that allows you to wage war, shoot guns, throw nades, and steal hats from your friends. It's one of those very simple but very fun party games. Definitely recommend. Transport Tycoon Deluxe got a remake in 2004, but don't be fooled. It has stood the test of time in OpenTTD, a potato-friendly business simulation game where you embrace late-stage capitalism and ship those paying flesh bags around by rail, water, or air to earn a buck. Just make sure you set up the train tracks right. We don't need any more head-on collision. Bad for business. Bad for the bank, too. Omega Strikers is a game you'll find thoroughly enjoyable if you're a fan of football and air hockey with a little sprinkle of League of Legends. It's a purely chaotic, lightning-fast 3v3 arena footballer with surprising polish, score goals, or just throw hands at your enemies. Best of both worlds, really. Imagine a small town back alley wrestling show with a bunch of budget Stone Cold Steve Austins that are unironically drunk off their face and shoot practicing MMA on one another. Boom, you got drunken wrestlers too. A hilarious physics-based multiplayer fighting game that features casual and competitive multiplayer to throw hands with friends across multiple game modes. If you enjoyed this content and wish to thank me from saving your wallet from the tyrannical clutches of AAA gaming overlords, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.